Welcome to episode 82, the Christmas episode special. We have today with us special guest Michael, and today we discuss Disneyland Paris, parenting, favourite Xmas presents and movies, as well as some conspiracies. Enjoy!
Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.
When your regular podcasts stop for the holidays and you need a fun listen on your break, you can always rely on us. In this magical time of year, spend time with Rage Whale, your new favorite podcast. We're always here to keep you company. Ho, ho, fucking ho.
Merry
Merry Christmas. Oh, you do look like Santa.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And what would you like for Christmas, James?
Yeah, we managed to get Santa on as a guest this week.
yeah. For people not visually looking, Drew's not with us today.
We got Santa.
But we do have Santa, aka Michael, our returning guest, and James. I don't know what you look like. You look like
Like a Christmas tree.
This
no, you
might be
look.
my new passport photo.
I tell you what, you look like a Rastafarian who's walked into Cyberdog. That's what you look like.
Yeah,
I'm a
man.
Cyberfarian. I'm a Rasta Cybertruck.
You look like you're appropriating some culture, some futuristic culture.
Yeah. Beep boop beep boop pop.
Also, it looks like you're going to be very, very hot right now. I've
I'm
already
feeling
told
okay,
the
actually.
Just-
people not watching, he has covered himself in fairy lights, Christmas tree decorations.
Can't get them off.
He literally has a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Why don't you wear them like B.A. Baracus? Just wear them like a pity the fool.
Like scarf.
That's,
Well,
that's scorching.
like Sub-Zero.
Yeah. You
I've
better
always
rob
got
a
like some
bank.
sort of like I got a disco burqa on.
Disco burger.
You should put that on a t-shirt.
Anyway, this is the Christmas episode. We might mention Christmas, we might not.
We
And
should.
we'll just see how it goes.
It's
So
the
first of all-
most wonderful time of the year.
Boom, boom. But the most Christmassy thing I've seen recently is Michael. Where have you just come back from?
Party. Gay party. Disneyland. Christmas. The Christmas spirit was beautiful.
Yeah, it looked great. I saw some of the photos of you and the family out in Disneyland. Is it Disneyland?
It's Disneyland Paris, yeah.
Not for long.
What they're changing it to?
Really, really uncatchy name.
Really?
Disney
Like
place.
Disneyland Europe Resort or something stupid like that.
Oh, Euro Disney, that was... No, it's Disneyland
No,
Paris.
they changed it. If you Google Disneyland Paris new name, it will just tell you. It's like Disney World Resorts Paris or something like that. It just doesn't really roll off the tongue.
it's under heavy construction. You can see all the kind of... They're building a frozen land, basically. So,
At Disney Adventure World.
Yeah, that's it. Sounds great. Disney Adventure World. It sounds rubbish. It's a rubbish name. It's like when they rebranded Cocoa Pops to Choco Krispies. It's like terrible decision.
It says here the new name is part of the park's $2 billion transformation. Disneyland Paris has unveiled a new name for Walt Disney Studios Park. As part of the transformation, Walt Disney Studios Park will become Disney Adventure World.
Which is the worst name.
With
Well,
a
not
new-
the worst name. Could be worse, but
With a
Disney's
new
making a lot of bad
immersive
choices
area.
these days, isn't it?
they're
Yeah.
really good at making bad decisions, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know who's like their CEO, but they need to show him the door. Or her.
Oh, it's that guy that Elon Musk done, like, innit?
Oh, if Elon Musk bought Disney over again,
He can buy whatever he wants.
he should buy it and just totally bring back orphans and bad.
What was the best ride at Disneyland then?
Ooh,
Oh,
can we guess?
Was it For the Kids was the best one, or the
Right.
best one for you?
you can guess. Go for it, James. What are you
Was
thinking?
there a Marvel-based one?
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
There is a Marvel one. You've got the Spider-Man ride, which is like a virtual thing, and then you've got the Avengers, but it's basically rebranded. It used to be the Aerosmith ride, Aerosmith the band, but they've basically just rebranded it, and it's amazing. Basically, you're just sitting this as if you're launching into space, and the kick off it is amazing, and then you get into like darkness, and you're just spinning about and
Like Space Mountain.
Identical to Space Mountain, but which is now a Star Wars ride. But the Star Wars ride was closed for some reason. But I still love the Indiana Jones ride. It's just a roller coaster. It's the only one I think goes upside down a couple of times, and it's outside. All the others, see the kind of big rides, they're all indoors, and for some reason they like to send you into darkness on a roller coaster where you don't really see anything. Where I like being outside and actually be able to see rather than just feel it. It's almost like when you're in these.
Park's good for that. They got loads of good outdoor ones.
So I like the traditional Indiana Jones ride, and there's the big rock mountain one, which is just a roller coaster, but it's a great roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Just on the subject of Star Wars, there, I was in the garden centre with Reef the other day, and he was looking at the Christmas decorations with like the names on that you hang on a tree.
Yeah.
In like a wreath, and it's got like a name, whatever. And I was like, it's unlikely you're going to find your name ever on one of them things. And he was like, oh, look, Roger. And I was like, yeah. He's like, there's a guy in Star Wars called Roger. I was like, haven't seen all the Star Wars films. I'm pretty sure he's not. And he's like, yeah, they're always saying Roger, Roger,
Roger.
Roger. He's like, Roger.
Did they watch Aeroplane? Roger, yeah.
So funny when he said, I was like, a Roger? Imagine that. Like Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Roger. I was like, I can't be right. He's like, yeah, they're always saying it, like Roger. And I was like,
that's the great thing about kids, isn't it? They see kind of past the strings. They hear exactly the magic and what it's supposed to be.
It did make me laugh, yeah.
I think.
How long were you there for? Was it like a weekend?
No, it was 5 days, so it was a lot. That's why I went into Paris for a day, and that was amazing. But no, it was good. It's the first time we've been to Disneyland Paris about 4 or 5 times, but that's the first time we've went at Christmas time, and the kids didn't know about it. We just told them the night before because the elves came and gave them a note saying you're going to Disneyland, Merry Christmas. So the kids were ecstatic. But it was an early rise. And then so our first day, we just got there. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And our weather was pretty good. We had a couple of wee bits of drizzle. But then when we were leaving, it was like torrential. But we were on the way home, so we're like, bye.
What hotel did you stay in?
We stayed at the Newport. That's the Disney hotel. You know how you get the big pink one as you walk into Disney? It's the other one. It's a big white one or a big kind of yellow.
I want to go to the Marvel Avengers.
See,
hotel.
The Marvel one's quite small. It doesn't look that up too much. It looks like a.
Have you seen their TVs in the mirror though? It's a mirror 1 minute, and you can like turn it, and it will turn into a TV. It's got stuff like that, and it's got all the suits and that in the hallways and things.
I think it's a bit. It looks like a kind of New York hotel. I think that's obviously what they're going for.
The hotel I stayed in Glasgow Central, above the train station.
Yeah.
That had a mirror at the end of the bed that turned into a TV. Just press the button and the whole mirror became a TV.
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
I shot a short film in Central Hotel. They were really, really accommodating. They gave us different rooms because the first room they gave us, it was looking onto the tracks, so you could hear all the announcements.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, listen, that's not going to work because obviously the sound. And they're like, that's fine, we'll just get you a room up high at the furthest point of which they did, which was amazing. So they were really hospitable.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
It was a nice hotel.
So as we're saying, as it's Christmas, there's no particular plan for today. So is there anything you particularly want to talk about when it comes to Christmas? Like, I've got some movie news, but it's not very Christmassy.
Go for it.
But like films, when it comes to like, I don't want to just say what's your favorite Christmas movie because that's quite simple.
Why not?
But what is the one? I guess. Okay, here's a different way of saying the same thing. what is the movie you grew up with as a kid that made you that was Christmas to you?
Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation,
Oh
National
yeah, National
Lampoons,
Lampoons as well, but Home Alone more.
and Gremlins. I always felt, and it was all. And to be
Yeah,
honest, to really go off the scale, I would say Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones was always on TV, either Christmas Eve or Christmas
Oh
Day
yeah, or Star Wars, that was
or
always on.
Star Wars.
and
So,
Back to the Future, where
and
none of
Back
them
to
are
the Future.
Christmassy, but they're always
No, I
on
know,
at Christmas.
but they were
aren't
always on TV, and it's funny because like, if you would have phoned your pals, like what he's doing, oh, we're watching Indiana Jones, even though if you had it in video
they? Yeah,
before DVD, even if you had it in video, see, because it was on the TV, it felt more special. So you would sit and watch all these kind of, and that's kind of the thing that for Christmas. Although I love all my Christmas movies, but there is some films that I just like to watch at Christmas time because it's that kind of movie. Again, Indiana Jones is like
yeah, just like a family movie, basically a
family
family
movie,
fun
yeah.
movie, like adventure, anything like like your Goonies and stuff like that.
Goonies,
It's just
Goonies as well, yeah.
adventure, nothing to do with Christmas.
No,
But yeah, that's a good one. But I definitely back James on Home Alone. I think I got that. I think as every kid did, they got that for Christmas on VHS,
yeah.
and that was watched on repeat.
I had the game for Home Alone 2 on the Game Boy, and it was like the weirdest game. You had like Hoovers attacking you and stuff, like vacuum cleaners just come in to try and like.
I think
Don't
I
remember
remember
that
that.
scene.
No, it's nothing to do with the movie
You
apart
just
from
had
the
to
name
get
of the
through the
game.
hotel.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was back in the day where you couldn't get cheats, so you got to a bit and you just stopped playing it 'cause you couldn't do it.
Home Alone 2's again just as good as the first one.
Yeah,
And it's got the big DT in it.
How they could never have got a trilogy going is beyond me.
Yeah, that definitely deserved a trilogy.
I mean, they could
Donald
still
Trump, big feature in the third one as well.
they could still do a third one right now. Do you know what I mean?
They could.
And
did
it'd be
you not see the joke that they'll get? I was going to say Kevin McAllister, get Macaulay Culkin as he is now. What he's slightly older than us. Is he your age? Is he
He's-
like 43?
Well,
He's
he's
been
like cleaned
44
himself up now, hasn't he? So
Yeah, but they were going to get him back as his age now, like with a beard, looking scruffy, and it was going to be like a take on The Purge, but Kevin McAllister, you got to fight. So
right.
basically, a Purge film mixed with Home Alone, and it would be
I just think they
It'd
could
be
bring
amazing.
out Joe Pesci in that. Just I don't know, like maybe he leaves his grandkids. There's people with better imaginations than I have. You could definitely do it. I just think some films deserve a trilogy. Do you know what I mean? And Home
Yeah.
Alone definitely. Although they did
You
sequels
don't
after it,
force
but
it, but you could create something interesting. But he's like Macaulay Culkin's back, sort of. I think he just likes the computer game Fallout, so he's now going to be in Fallout Series 2, the TV show. But that's his first
his
acting
brother,
in
his
ages.
brother Kieran's really winning at life now.
Oh, he's amazing.
Fuller.
He's Fuller. Like you'd be sleeping in the bed next to Fuller.
He'll
Take
pee
care if he
all
doesn't
over
drink too
me.
much coke. Yeah.
It's funny you can recite that full movie, can't you?
But yeah, Kieran, he is. I don't know. There's something about that guy. He's just got charisma.
Have you watched the Succession?
I saw bits of it. I've not fully got into it.
Epic
but
TV
I
show,
did
but
enjoy it.
he's fantastic in it. He's so good in it.
I didn't not like it. I just forgot about it. I think I watched the first series and then I got it was on Now TV, so I got rid of Now TV because I forgot I wasn't watching anything. You know, that takes a while for some TV shows to come out.
I hate everything seems right now that you need to stream it every week. It's like just box set me, man. I'm now waiting until shows finish so I can sit and watch them because I can't do this week to week thing.
Which means you've got like Apple or Disney sitting there paying for it monthly, and you're not looking at it for
and
3
you're not
months.
touching it exactly.
Then you're watching it all over a weekend.
I know it's terrible. I don't know why they don't just go back to. I think House of Cards was the first show to do that. Just drop the full season.
Has anyone seen Yellowstone's final season's out?
I'm watching it now. I'm just watching I think I've got 2 episodes left. I'm gutted.
Wow. Do you know what happens?
No, don't tell me.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. I won't tell you.
I know they killed off Costner. Do you know what I mean? But
oh no, it gets worse than that. It's epic.
is it? Have you finished it?
Almost.
Or is it still going? Like
I don't know. I watched an episode last night. I was like,
are they? Is this going to be the last season then?
There's,
Yeah.
there's a-
It doesn't
there's-
work without Kevin Costner, does
I
it?
read
Really?
that there was loads of pay disputes because the guy that plays what's he called with the blonde hair?
His son.
Apparently the guy with the blonde Casey.
Yeah, his son.
Luke Grimes.
Yes. He apparently was getting quite a lot more money than the rest of the cast, and there was quite a big dispute apparently before they came back for the last series, and that apparently is why they're ending the series. He was getting paid like a bundle more.
Really?
And I think he was going to have the idea of him having a spin-off or something, maybe.
I was
Can't
about to
quite
say
read it.
that there is a
I heard-
spin-off coming, and
With Matthew McConaughey.
it's with Kelly Riley. You know, the main
So-
woman in Yellowstone. They're doing a spin-off of her.
I mean, talk about a great British actress again.
I mean, she is amazing in that show. Although she's the past couple of seasons, I thought they need to ramp her down a wee bit. I loved how she started off, but it's
Wait,
like
is it a prequel, the spin-off?
I don't know. I've not watched it, so I didn't
Because
really pay that much attention.
having watched what I watched yesterday, I don't know how they get away with doing a. Okay, I'm not going to say anymore.
spoiler alert.
Back to school with Rage Whale. Here's show and tell.
Oh, Kev, look, you didn't notice I got another new shirt today. This month's theme is Fender, and the labels are getting ever bigger for these shirts.
What gig were you at the other night?
Huh?
Was that a gig?
No, it's a company called Dixon, and all their shirts have like a theme. So this one's Fender. I've got one over there that's Oh, you'll like this one actually.
I saw you and Drew were at a O2 thing or something. Was that ages
Yeah.
ago?
Oh, that
This
was
red
ages
one
ago,
is
yeah.
this is the red rum shirt. So it's like
Red Ram. I'm reading Murder. What are you talking about?
yeah, they're pretty good. I like buying them. They come out drop every week, and they're not that expensive and bloody comfy.
Cut
Well,
down some trees.
Still trying to get that sponsorship from Dixon.
Well, James had a good idea before we started recording. As it's Christmas, what's the best Christmas presents you've ever had growing up? Or
Memorable
worst?
Christmas. I don't think I ever had a best one, but I do remember one year.
Did your parents do the same? Like, did they give you lots of small gifts or normal gifts, and then one big one?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was always the one big one in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah.
yeah.
bike,
I do remember when I got remember when Robin Hood Prince of Thieves came out? Did you ever have the toys?
Yeah.
There wasn't many of them, but it was the big Sherwood Forest
The
with
Ewok
like
Village.
Huh?
It was a rebranded Ewok Village.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there was only like 5 characters you could buy. It was a very limited run of toys, but I got like the whole set. So it was like one was like a shot boulders, one was like a big catapult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had like I don't even think there was 5 characters, hardly any figures. It was all sort of like weaponry and vehicles, but that was awesome. It was huge as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I had all those. You got 2 different type of Robin Hoods.
Yes.
You got one
And
in his...
I don't even know. I don't even think there was a Maid Marian, to be fair.
No, there wasn't. There was a Little John, there was a
There
guard,
was
and there was a
random
sheriff.
soldiers, wasn't there?
Yeah, and there was a sheriff of Nottingham, that was it.
Yeah, random minions that were just like.
No Friar Tuck.
There was an Azim because he came with the fabric top.
Oh, so there was, yeah. Yeah.
Azim, was that his name? Yeah.
Is that,
But
was
it was
that
a very small set of toys. But yeah, I got that one Christmas. Pretty cool.
Were you
I
quite
think
young?
it was Christmas. Well, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves was like 1991, so yeah, I was
Yeah.
quite young. I was probably 6 or 7.
Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is the film I've seen most in the cinema. I went to see it 16 times over that summer.
I love that film.
Insane.
Every
I
week
obviously
I
wasn't
went and
allowed
seen
to see
it.
it at the cinema, but
And yeah, I was obsessed with it. I remember me and my friends, we built a camp and down the Calder Park. We built our own. We tried to make our own in Robin Hood Village. We were making swords out of wood. Like we really get into the whole vibe of it. Loved it.
I'd go out
Absolutely
on a
loved
limb
it.
and say that's one of the best scored movies ever.
Yeah, epic.
For me, anyway. The
Can you-
score was so
Can you
good.
believe somebody cut down that tree? Those fucking
A
assholes.
couple of years ago, wasn't it? A year or
Oh,
two ago.
disgusting, man. See the
Oh,
tree.
the one that was down the dip in the middle.
Yeah,
The one he was hiding up, and the little kid, Will Scarlet, was hiding up, wasn't he?
And somebody just cut it down for a joke. Do you know what I mean? That's like, what's wrong with people? The trees sat there for like
Not Will
700
Scarlet,
years.
the little boy. Can't remember what
Yeah,
his name was now.
Wolf.
Wolf, yeah, that was it.
And I remember, and to be honest, like, Prince of Thieves is actually the film that made me want to become an actor. Like, although every kind of film had an influence on me wanting to act, but Prince of Thieves, I always remember watching the news, and they were interviewing that young boy, and it was like, oh, what's it
What
like?
he grew up to be like.
I never really done much after, but I remember.
But for me, I think it was like the first proper action film I'd seen.
Yeah.
Because I was, 6 or 7. I'd probably seen Ghostbusters.
I mean, just the opening. Remember, like the opening where he's in
The prison.
in the prison with the hand. Oh, it was honestly what a movie. But I remember
if
seeing
you
that.
think how hard, like, I respect Game of Thrones because they had to hand make everything in that film. They couldn't just it's not like filming a modern day crime film where you just go to a shop and buy everything. Like, everything was hand stitched, and that they did that back in '91 with that film as well.
Yeah, oh, it was a huge movie. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was the one that kind of put Costner into. And again, that song, 19 weeks
Bryan
at
Adams.
19 weeks at number one.
It's a great song.
And then you had Whitney Houston, 18 weeks at number one.
He was
So that was two of the top
Kevin
number
Costner
one
was a
songs of all
hitmaker.
time. Two Kevin Costner movies.
And then he did Waterworld.
Number 3 is I Feel It in My Fingers. Wet, Wet, Wet.
If you want to watch something funny now, Waterworld is one of the best unintentional comedies of all time.
Paper. You ever seen Paper?
Paper.
You ever seen Paper? How much for the wee one?
It's so bad when you watch it now. That did not hold up. And that was the most expensive film ever made at the time, wasn't it?
I liked Waterworld. I'm not a big fan of...
I liked it when I was 10, but I haven't seen it since.
Who's the bad guy again?
Dennis Hopper.
I'm not a Dennis Hopper fan. He was good in Speed.
Even when he was... What about when he was King Bowser or whatever in Mario?
Definitely not. He was good in Speed.
He was excellent in Speed.
His asshole. But I didn't like him in literally nothing else Dennis Hopper ever did.
There he is in Speed.
He's melted fingers.
Also, how good was Speed?
Epic movie.
I had it on VHS twice because I wore the first one out.
Yeah, good movie. I just wanted to wear a bulletproof vest. Now how he's doing it, he wears the vest and he goes under the bus.
Yeah, it's just a great movie.
I met Keanu Reeves that year that Speed came out.
No way.
I met him at Tea in the Park in Hamilton.
Did he stop or keep going in case he blew up?
No. His band was playing. It was called Dogstar. His band was playing. It was the very first Tea in the Park, and he was staying in Motherwell at a hotel, the Moorings Hotel.
Can we just throw out there? Speed has one of the worst sequels of all time.
I've never even watched it. True story. I watched about half an hour and I went,
Cruise
this is
Control.
dog shit.
Did Keanu say anything?
So I'll tell you. So we've seen his band. His band was on at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. So it's about 4 o'clock, and it was scorching. It was a beautiful day. I'm with my friends. We're buying t-shirts and things like that. And he's literally just sitting with a couple of people on the grass. Right now, at the time, he's just done Bill and Ted and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he's not like a huge star. Speed had just came out. It was literally out the same summer. And I was like, there's Keanu Reeves sitting there. So I was like, and again, I was like 12 years old, maybe 13. And I'm circling him. Like, I don't know how to approach him because I'm a kid. I'm like, I see him and I'm just trying to keep walking by. And he actually called me over. He's like, what's up, little man? And I walked up, I was like, how you doing? I was like, we watched your band, amazing with my other friend. I was like, it was amazing. He's like, that's good. He could see it at the corner of his eye. This kid recognises me and he's too scared to. And I wrote about this a couple of years ago. I think I posted it. I was like, because I think I shared something that how nice a person Keanu Reeves is, blah, blah, blah.
He seems like a proper good guy, doesn't he?
He called this random kid over because he knew this kid doesn't know how to approach me. And he just made it so easy. And I spoke for like 2 minutes.
I see videos of him like that all the time now. He seems like proper down to earth and chill.
And it was like, that just made it was just epic. And it was just, and I can always look back and go, how nice was he? Just a random person. He could have just went and turned his back. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't. It was just like.
But even then, like you say,
so
he wasn't
cool.
a star. I guess, Speed probably broke him into the the mainstream, but he was in loads of films, but like Parenthood, things like that.
Well,
So
yeah, I mean,
Point Break.
Bill and Ted was huge.
yeah. I
Was
mean, I
Point
love
Break
Bill and
before
Ted.
or after?
Point Break was Johnny Utah.
That's after.
Just after.
100%. Maybe it might have been released the same year,
Probably same year
but
or
I'm
within a
going
year.
for if it's not 94, 95.
What's
I
And
thought
Speed?
Speed was 95.
Speed 94,
Speed's
95?
94. Do you want to make
94.
a guess? Pick a year, and I'll tell you.
95 then.
93. Point Break 93.
You win, but it's 91.
Point Break was, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a
Not-
massive film. So that had
Patrick
Swayze and
Swayze
Gary
was the star of
Busey.
that, though.
No, Gary Busey. What a guy.
Oh my god! Then he did a lot of random films. I'm not saying these are bad, but they weren't
Johnny Mnemonic.
great. Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic,
Oi.
A Walk in the Clouds,
oi.
Chain Reaction, Feeling Minnesota.
You know, Chain Reaction's a Thingway movie. Who's the character everybody always plays? Jack Ryan movie.
Oh,
Can we just all like pay a bit of respect to
He's
Johnny
Jack.
Mnemonic?
Is he not
Yeah.
Jack Ryan in
he
Chain
plays
Reaction?
Eddie Kaslevich,
Oh, I'm
but
getting
it
that
could be
mixed up.
based
Then.
on the book still.
If you go back, I watched Johnny Mnemonic a couple of months ago.
Dolph Lundgren's great in it.
It was so's Henry Rollins. But if you actually watch that now, you're like, they actually had quite a few things spot on in that film.
Yeah.
Like, it was very early on, like Lawnmower Man style, when that 3D graphic was obviously invented, because Lawnmower Man used it to death. Johnny Mnemonic used it, the whole 3D virtual reality thing. And now you can actually do that sort of stuff. It's like...
Minority Report really had it on point, didn't it? Like, we cruised in
Well,
that.
so did Equilibrium, if you think about it. Blue pill and
Yeah.
a red pill.
Right, I'm not going to take anything away from the film because it's one of
What film?
You confused me by saying 3 films there. Michael,
Speed.
you said it first. Minority Report. I've watched that film, so it's one of those films that I do think Tom Cruise does like really good, watchable films. Like even if it's crap, there's something engaging about it. Like War of the Worlds, I could watch right now and tomorrow and
Hold
next week.
please. Have you seen Far and Away?
Epic. Love it.
But my point is,
what a score.
my
Farmer
point
was a
is
great movie.
Minority Report, I've changed my mind now. I don't think it's a great film, and I've seen it loads, and I love it. But the more you watch it in today's world, I don't know. The film itself, like, is clunky.
The biggest predictor
Amazing
film.
concept, great film. I love it, but it's not technically good when you watch it today's world.
Oh no, I disagree. I think it's one of his best acting. Like, see that scene where he's got the guy in the room where it's the orgy of evidence. That the guy's been set up as if he's the guy that killed his son,
Oh yeah.
and he's like, because he's like, no matter what, I'm not killing this person. I don't know why I'm going to kill this person. And then he's looking at him, going, "They're right. Actually, I'm going to kill you." And he's got this glazed, teary-eyed. I think that's like a spot on.
Well, that's what we want because Tom Cruise is obviously doing great, but we do want to see him doing some acting, and that's apparently what his next role is going to be. It's going to be
Good.
actual acting, not an action
I'd
star.
love him to work with QT. Just
Do you know
one
what I
time.
think would be a great movie? Would be a fly-on-the-wall documentary of the first time Elon Musk watched iRobot, then realised he has billions of dollars and was like, doing it.
I've got an idea.
He's like literally has done everything in that film. He's made the robots.
He's not even trying to hide it, not.
But do you know what's mental? I found out about him the other day. You know the game Diablo, the online sort of game. He's like #1 in the world at that game.
What do you mean? What, playing it?
He's top of the leaderboard playing it. #1 player in the world.
He probably paid for it.
He don't know. He play. Have you not seen the videos? He's like playing it with his kid for hours. It's like, how does he? Does his days have more hours than ours?
He's got
dresses
65 hours in a day.
Yeah, he has like 3 hours. He has 37-hour days or something. It's like, how have you like? And he goes on Joe Rogan. He's like, yeah, I sleep about 6 hours, which is optimum apparently. But he's just always doing
Donald
stuff.
Trump sleeps for 4 or 5 hours.
That's not healthy though. But he does seem pretty switched
I
on
don't know.
for a
He's
man
pretty
his
switched
age.
on for a guy that's in his late 70s, aye.
But when I watched iRobot again recently, I was like, Elon Musk must have just watched this film and thought, doing it.
Do you not find it hard to watch Will Smith now?
Yes.
With all these Diddy Party... all these people are all
He
coming out,
came
they're all
out
bumming each other.
yesterday or the day before saying he's never been to a freak out and he's got nothing to do with Diddy live on stage.
Of course he did.
I know, but if...
Jay-Z,
listen,
though, on the other hand, quite a lot of evidence against him.
Yeah.
I just think... I'm glad the curtains are being pulled back and all these people are absolute putrid people, do you know what I mean? So...
What about Liam Payne, though? Openly spoke about being concerned about the whole Diddy situation.
I know that his death. I mean, I don't think his death's connected to P Diddy or anything like that, but his death is definitely
be.
suspicious.
It's definitely suspicious,
He
yeah.
fell off a balcony.
No, he was
Who falls off a balcony?
He was thrown off a balcony.
Yeah.
After being given loads of dodgy drugs by people.
Yeah. Again, maybe he's just a pain in the arse, and it was like...
Because then people got arrested that gave him the dodgy drugs, did they
Yeah,
not?
but I mean, I think the
Bit
security...
like Michael Jackson?
The security in his room... I think he's actually been... I think he's been flung off by the security, to be honest.
What about Michael Jackson, though? 'Cause he was on stage openly talking about certain people, wasn't he? And
Clive
then
Davis, never.
But I think that's the funny thing as well. Like, you know, obviously 50 Cent, like, trolling all the lot because he's got nothing to do with it and he's, like, loving it. Every time something comes out, P. Diddy is, 50 Cent's rubbing his hands going, told you, hilarious. Yeah. And then he put one out the other day because it was the Mufasa, the new film, the Lion King film.
Jay-Z turned up.
Yeah, Jay-Z turned up with his daughter Blue Ivy. I'm guessing Blue Ivy's in the film. And 50 Cent's just like, you just put out a report via your solicitor today saying I did not rape a 13-year-old girl. And as soon as that's released, an hour later, you go stand next to your teenage daughter at a film premiere, stealing focus from her when it's her moment. And you are clearly in a bad situation and dumping her and taking the film down.
Have you seen all the videos of him, like, taking over, like, Rihanna's mic when she's getting her award? He's like, and she wants to thank so-and-so, and she wants to thank so-and-so, and she's like stood there like, what the fuck? But did you see the clip from Ellen that resurfaced? And it was just titled "This Didn't Age Well," and it's from a few years back. And she's got all these, like, I don't know if they're special needs or, like, underprivileged kids. It's about 15 in a chair.
They brought out the
she's
diddler.
like, look who we've got. Diddy comes out. They all go running and hugging him. It's like, this does not age well.
And 4-year-olds do not know who P. Diddy is. So what was that about? But also,
it's not really their type of music, is it? It's a lot of swearing. I mean,
if it was
like
Barney,
music, but...
yeah, you would understand. You know what I mean?
But there was another Ellen clip where Ellen had a T-shirt.
She's always been taught that she's into it.
And it was one of the, you know, the thing where they're by the buzzer and they have to say name a body part or whatever, and the first person to tap it says wins. Yeah. And it was one of those type of things. But she had a T-shirt, and she went like this to Diddy. The cameras we didn't see it, saying, "Can I show this?" And he just leans in and go, I got a lot of videotape of you, Ellen, so I put that down. It's like a joke diss.
Funny, not funny.
It's not.
But what about that video where he's like patting down Justin Bieber? Have you seen that?
As a comedian, she would have shown that to the cameras for a laugh after he said that, but she put it away.
But have you seen when people win Grammys over Beyonce and they look like worried and they always thank her and stuff? Or when he was patting down Justin Bieber when he was meeting him, like doing that, like in case he had a wire or something.
It's disgusting. It's so blatant. These people they're so high up. They've got all these government people in their pockets. It's like beyond gangsterism. It's like it's next level. It's just time they all just went to jail and stopped. I mean, no doubt somebody will take their place and become the next diddler. Do you know what I mean? But it just has to stop, man. Like all these.
Well, look at the whole
it's just
thing with Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it's all of them. It just seems like all of them. It's like, you know what?
What's that called? Quiet on Set. That documentary. Did everyone watch it?
They're all in hiding. Leo DiCaprio.
If you're a bit
weird,
did
anyone watch Quiet on Set?
No, but if you're weird and you're rich and you're around kids, it's like. But if you're in a rock band in the 80s, you're going to get a groupie.
Listen, I get that if you want to party with 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, but who wants to party with? I mean, my son had 60s pals in here for a Christmas party before they went to their Christmas disco, and I was like, what time these motherfuckers leaving? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with these people? I think they just like to, they're like vampires. They must just like to just destroy innocence or something. There's something kind of demonic about it all. It just doesn't make
It is demonic,
there
yeah. It's
can't
some
be
sort
that
of
much paedophilia in the world that
Well,
it's like every celebrity. It can't be. It must be something more.
there was a guy I saw this week again, and he was talking about the Jay-Z situation, and he's a black guy that's friends with all that type of people, but
paedophiles.
he's been to a P Diddy party, just not the freak off section.
Oh, I seen that guy. I seen
and
what
he-
you're talking about.
Yeah, because he goes, I'm there chatting, we're getting a bit drunk and stuff. It's 11 p.m.
And they're
and they
bringing
bring
kids
in a
in.
bunch of girls in, and they're young teenagers. He goes, if they're 17, I'd be shocked, type thing, and even that's not legal anyway.
No, he says
And
they're
that's when
kids.
he starts chipping off. But they sit beside Beyonce, so it's not like Beyonce gets a get out of
And
jail
again,
free
if you were
card
there,
because she's a woman.
you probably wouldn't think anything of it. You would probably, because what he said was he's thinking, with these kids in the video we've just shot, like I was a bit confused with the family members. He didn't know, and that's fair. You know what I mean? Because I think the thing with the P Diddy parties, the white parties, and all that, there's a party, and then there's the after party,
Yeah.
which is when the masses, and there's an area that's you need the special card to get into this area. And it's basically, again, I think P. Diddy was just doing what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. He's getting all this information and blackmail on people.
The thing is, though, people are scared
Yeah.
to speak out because then things happen like, don't know, people might get off. But then you've got people like Joe Rogan. He was speaking out against mainstream media. Then all of a sudden, there was these like crazy claims and charges about
Yeah.
him that were completely unsubstantial and dropped.
Come out like that. Russell
Russell
Brand.
Brand starts talking against the narrative. All of a sudden, all these people come forward and have sexual harassment claims that none of it stood.
But did
They
you
didn't
know?
get charged.
But did you know the funny
They
thing?
play the same card every time.
Do you know the funny thing? See if you remember at the beginning of this year when they raided Diddy's houses, or it was the end of last year. I can't remember what the timeline is.
With the oil.
They raided his houses for all these tapes, all this evidence, right? What happened? We've not seen any names on any of these videotapes, but what happened? A lot of celebrities came out in favour of Kamala Harris, J-Lo, and it's as if they're almost
Panicked,
getting
didn't they? Panicked.
It's almost like they're getting blackmailed into
No, it's
doing
because they were
these
scared
things.
of Trump coming in because he was going to
Yeah,
blow the lid on the whole
But
thing.
also, you support her, and because Beyonce turned up, she didn't perform, which
Apparently
everybody
she got
was
paid
like,
$10 million for
10,
that, by the
no,
way.
I think they went, got some tapes on you, hen, going up there and wave a flag for us. Because it was far too...
That's what
Yeah,
it
how
was.
can
Notice how it was all the P. Diddy involved people that
yeah,
supported. That's what they
it was.
said, wasn't
That's
it?
what Joe Rogan said. It was literally the P Diddy guest list.
I think that's what made Joe Rogan finally support Trump. 'Cause he's
I need to
always
support.
stayed completely neutral.
Yeah,
Like Joe Rogan's
which was
never,
fine.
even in the last election, he was just like saying, "I'll vote for Gary whatever,"
Yeah.
that was like not even in the race, because he's never taken a political side.
Yeah.
And he even said he'd have Kamala Harris on, like
Yeah, she
more than
didn't want to go.
happily, but she wouldn't be able to do it because she
No.
couldn't. She was incapable.
No.
But yeah, like they're just all worried, weren't they? Because now their safety net is gone.
Honestly, for somebody that loves movies, and all three of us absolutely adore movies and music, and but you're finding out all these people. I know everybody's flawed. There's nobody, but these people are like beyond.
I'll be
ill
perfectly
repute.
honest with you. I think what's going on in the actual world is better than any movie that's come out in the last 10 years.
In
Like, I was
50 years,
joking.
we're going to get a great couple of movies based on all this. You know what I mean?
I was joking with.
Except
I was
there's real victims. That's
Yeah,
the
I
problem.
was
that's it.
joking with a guy at work the other day, and I was like, "This is my favourite season of the world." Like, as far as seasons of the world goes,
Episode.
2024 has been the best season.
Yeah.
Like, it's just wild.
Because
You got
the mask
drones
is
now
coming
coming out
off.
of water. Have you seen that?
I mean,
In
it's
America,
just,
the drones.
it's everything all at once, isn't it? It's like we've got UFO sightings. We've got.
But have you seen them drones that are coming out
Yeah.
of the water? They've got videos of, like, in the water, they're in the sea or whatever, and they're just like going and like flying. It's like,
I'm not
what
being
the
funny
fuck?
though. I'm a bit confused because if you take a plane up and you go into some sort of airspace, you'll be shot down within 3 minutes.
Yeah, but if drones fly low enough, they're not in airspace.
I don't know, but these things they're not low. They're fucking miles up in the sky.
They look like they're higher than they are. Being someone that like flies drones, like
But even
they
at that,
always look way. I put my drone at about 150 meters, and that's your cap. A lot of places you
but
can't go
what
higher.
I'm saying is, if these are unidentified, right, and they could be spies, so why is there not something just shooting them out the sky? Because pretty much, I'm pretty sure America, especially, has that technology. Just
Well, there were questions on it today, but I didn't watch the video with the answers. Trump was actually questioned on it, and I can't remember what he said. I didn't really watch it, to be fair. I'll find it later. But I find it weird how they all they're not, obviously not UFOs, but they are drones. Who's bringing these, like...
But are they
It's not
trying?
even 10 or 20, it's like
But are
50
they?
drones.
But then, did you see that one where they're talking about the G-force? Where I think it's like 9 Gs is what a human can do just now. Anything more than that, your basically spine gets crushed.
I'll tell you now,
But these things were travelling at 300 Gs. But there's nothing on this in the
Speaking of
stratosphere
insane
that
stuff,
goes that
like,
fast.
this is insane. Did you see the bomb that went off in Syria that registered 3 on a Richter
Yeah,
scale?
it was like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, like, Kev, you know what the Richter scale is, don't you? That's what they measure earthquakes on. The bomb was so big it caused an earthquake like hundreds of miles away.
Well,
It was
I watched the program the other day on the tsunami that hit in 2004. You know, that hit the biggest tsunami that's
Thailand.
ever happened in
the
our
one they made the
living
movie
memory.
on. What was it called? The movie
Thailand.
with Tom
Yeah.
Holland?
Everyone dies underwater.
It
I
was
don't
Tom
know,
Holland and Ewan McGregor,
Ewan
wasn't it?
McGregor. Yeah.
but
The Impossible? The Unthinkable? The
that's it,
Impossible?
impossible.
Impossible. Yeah, it was a good
But
movie.
Excellent
I
movie.
watched the documentary on Netflix called Tsunami on Disney called Tsunami, and it's a 4-part episode, and it is devastating to watch. But they were showing where the actual earthquake happened and the tear under the water that happened.
Man-made.
No, it was a tectonic plate shift, but because it was underwater,
Nothing to do with people firing nuclear missiles in the water for testing and that.
no, nothing to do with that. No, it's a tsunami. It's just tectonic plates that happens everywhere in the world where you get earthquakes. You get little ones out over the world causing big waves as well. But this just happened to be a big long one, and it was like the equivalent of I think they said 46 atomic bombs. Oppenheimer times 46. That was the equivalent in the water, which is why the waves are so big, and they just expected to like go over Malaysia, but it went all the way across to Sri Lanka.
See, I could always think, yeah, natural acts of God or whatever you want to call them. But see, when it always targets piss poor areas, I start thinking deliberate.
Yeah, but that's
You know
where the tectonic plates are. There's none in Britain.
No,
you can't have an earthquake in Britain.
but it's like New Orleans was hit by a hurricane that was devastating. It never hits New York. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine looking out your window and seeing this. This is as far as your eye can see. So how far can you see eye-wise? Hundreds of miles, right?
Yeah.
This is insane.
Was this the Syria?
It didn't even look real when I saw it.
Nothing's happening.
With playing, there's just like a little warning first.
It's a big warning.
Yeah.
This warning is too long.
Yeah.
Too much
There
warning.
we go. Here we go.
James is showing is a distressing video that viewers may find distressing.
Yeah, that is
It's an
Oppenheimer.
explosion.
That is some Oppenheimer stuff right there.
Does
That's
it get
so big.
Look at that.
That could be like the size of like a couple of villages, just one big gulf.
Did they hit a target that was like some sort of gas
Also,
thing or something?
Can we just be like, Syria can't catch a break at the moment, can they? Like, they were celebrating because Assad like was fallen or whatever the other day, and then 2 seconds later, Israel are like, right, let's bomb them. Like, give them a break.
So, Michael, what was your favourite Christmas present? Fucking
My
hell.
favourite Christmas present, right?
Let's
Back
get
to
off.
Christmas.
Let's get off. Not boring. It's interesting, but
Yeah, it's too much in it. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
Too heavy for Christmas.
Whoever
time.
had a Super Soaker 200
A
with the
what?
green bottle.
No, it's a 100.
A
Is that
what?
100? A Super Soaker 100.
Super Soaker.
Oh, Super Soaker.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was luminous yellow with a lime green bottle.
I used to have a machine gun. It was a Rambo gun and it had sparks when you
Wonder
pressed the
where
trigger.
that's going, then.
Oh, nice.
It was great. I loved it. My favourite
Cap guns are cool.
Christmas. I remember. I mean, anything. I mean, I always loved my toys growing up. I loved my toys. So I was always into Star Wars and G.I. Joe and all that. But one of the ones that really, it was Ninja Turtles. And I
Yeah.
remember whatever Christmas it was, and I got a shit ton of turtle stuff. It was like practically everything. And I was like, oh, I just kept on opening them up. It was the next turtle figure. I remember just like having like every figure.
My mum tells me the story when she went to Toys R Us when Turtles were out that first big year. They limited it to like one per customer, so like other family members had to like go with them to like buy
That's
them all and stuff.
terrible, isn't it?
But it was like it was good. I think it's good when companies do that to
I had
stop
the
one person buying
van,
it
the
all.
layer, the blimp. There was a big
The
blimp.
blimp, I never had the blimp.
And I had all
Yeah,
these
the van.
figures.
Yeah, because the van had the doors that swung open, and he was sat in the door.
Yeah.
He came out, didn't he?
Michael,
fire
last
pizzas.
Christmas, Reef got the Turtles, all the figures, the motorbike, the van. For his, you couldn't get the sewer anywhere. So for his birthday just gone, he got the sewer layer and some of the bad guys. And since then, they've released, they're like drip feeding out characters
Right.
from the new animated ones. So now
Yeah.
he's got a few more of the bad guys and stuff, but he's got like a proper good selection.
Yeah, I got
motorbikes, pizza shooters.
I got Christian the van, and all of the kind of main figures. A few of the bad guys. Again, it was like the first. I know that I've seen more come out recently. That animated cartoon was great. Do you know what I also consider Christmas movies? Harry Potter movies.
I've never seen a Harry Potter film from start to finish.
Great movies. They release them every Christmas. Lord of the Rings as well, every Christmas.
If you ever want to watch Harry Potter hot tip, the ITV player has nearly all of them on there.
I've got them all anyway on something, but no, because they were released every Christmas. I've just
really?
and Christmas always comes into it at some point because now they do the kind of the 4 seasons in each, like the 4 semesters of no, what's the school called?
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts. I was going to say Gryffindor.
The one person hasn't actually ever seen the film, I know.
So they do. So there's always Christmas kind of themed in it anyway. So I like watching them at Christmas.
Reeves started watching the Harry Potter films with his mum, and he's always been a bit of a psycho, as you know, Kev. Like his favourite characters are always the bad guys. And I was like, "Oh, you watch Harry Potter? You're like, Harry Potter's not my favourite character today." And I was like, "Who is?" He's like, "The Dementors." I was like, "You're fucking crazy."
He's dark.
Honestly, he's in. This is his latest thing.
He's a dark one. Deadpool. My Nicholas is 5, and we were sitting watching. We were watching Yellowstone, but he was sitting. He wasn't paying attention. He was sitting at the table, and you know the scene where she goes to the horse trainer's house, and the woman says, "Are you a masseuse?" And she says, "Do I look like a fucking masseuse?" And she walks in the house. Nicholas is sitting. He's going, "Fucking," and we're just trying to completely ignore it because if you give it attention,
I can't ignore it. I just laugh.
But he's just like fucking the accent and everything on it. And I was like, just ignore him.
Reef was in the corridor the other day, and I was in the living room. All I heard was something drop. And I went, "Oh Jesus!" And I was like,
"That's all right. Nothing wrong about a GC."
But he says "for God's sake" all the time. We're like, "No, it's for goodness." He's like, "No, it's for God's sake."
Kids and the things they say.
Well, I mean, bringing up things like Craven the Hunter, for instance, like
very mixed reviews.
The movie news this week, it's not mixed reviews. It's like the worst. It's worse.
No, I've heard different. Some people say they really like it. Some people say it's I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 0.
Yeah, it's below Morbius and it's below Madam Web.
Yeah, but I enjoyed Morbius for what it was. I haven't seen Madam Web.
I'm going to go see it
I enjoyed
on Wednesday.
Madam Web.
I probably would enjoy Madam Web. Morbius I actually didn't think was that bad.
Madam Web's not a good film, but I did enjoy it more than I expected to because I knew it was going to be shit. The reviews came out the day before I went. I was like, for fuck's sake, shouldn't bother going, but already had the ticket, so went, and I was like, the bit in the middle was good, but the bit that annoyed me about Madam Web is that it was billed as a Sydney Sweeney movie, not a Dakota Johnson movie. Sydney Sweeney was in it for 5 minutes total.
She's on fire.
You want the girls to be doing Spider-Man stuff. You don't want Dakota Johnson just wandering around.
I mean, the trailers and that made it look bad, but the best thing about Madam Web is the piss take videos I've seen on YouTube of people doing it, where they're like driving away in the car and they're like, "Oh right, try and like keep under wraps." And the girl's got her head stuck out the window, just looking straight at the camera and stuff. It's like
I thought Madam Web. I don't understand the hate that it got, and the same with Morbius.
I enjoyed Morbius.
I enjoyed Morbius as well. It was just the ending was a bit I don't know. Again, see when they get into these realms, a 15-minute fight at the end, it just bores me to tears.
Who was it who showed up at the end of Morbius in the cutscene? Wasn't it Vulture?
Michael Douglas, yeah.
Michael Douglas.
Sorry, Michael Keaton. His name's Michael Douglas in real life.
But then they never followed that on, so what was the point?
I know, it was like this build-up, you were going to get the, what's it called, like the Furious 5 or something, or the...
Oh, none of the endings have connected. If you look back at all these Marvel stuff, like 10% of them connect with the following films.
And they never
it's kind
do.
of pointless. Because now you kind of sit in the cinema for an extra 10 minutes.
Well,
like a cutscene, and it's like it doesn't even follow on from anything.
Well, freaking Harry Styles is meant to be Zeus or some shit in one of them. Like that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that was the Eternals. He was in that.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's pointless.
No one cares about the Eternals.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they've given up now. They've said that's it. No, for the Spider-Verse, that's it.
But the problem
Spider-Man movies only.
Because of Iron Man wasn't it wasn't even in the top 20 best-selling kind of Marvel comic books back in the day. It was just a comic. So because they made...
I didn't really know who Iron Man was
they
when the
made
movie
something
came out.
of nothing, really. And because they've done that...
Robert Downey Jr. made that.
All they've done since is try to... we'll take fucking... crippled man and try and make... Nobody's interested. It's the same with Batman. We don't want to see some fucking shit. We want to see Joker, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Catwoman...
I've got a question.
We don't need
you
to
might
see
be
all
able to
these
answer
people
this,
we've never heard
Michael. When did Disney acquire Marvel?
I think it was 2000 and... was it 90s? No, 2005, I think. 2011.
Okay, so they started off casting arguably some of the best casting ever. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, perfect.
Chris Evans.
Chris Hemsworth, perfect. Chris Evans, perfect. Scarlett Johansson, perfect.
They fucked it with the Hulk.
Perfect.
They screwed up with the Hulk.
The Hulk is cursed.
They should have kept it with what's his name? My God, man.
Eric Banner?
No, not another guy.
Edward Norton?
Ed Norton was a great Hulk.
The thing is, the Hulk they know now is cursed because they didn't even try and make one with
Disney acquired Marvel in 2009.
2009, yeah.
For $4 billion.
So was that post all those great castings?
Michael Jackson was trying to bid for that at the same time?
When did Iron Man come out?
Or just before that? 2007.
When did Iron Man and Thor come out?
2007.
So we can't even credit... So basically you could also argue the downfall was...
First was 2008.
2008?
What was Thor?
That's the same year as Dark Knight.
Thor was well after, so we can't really give them grief
2011.
For that. Yeah, okay. So they were good at casting at the beginning, and then it went downhill.
Right, they just tried to cast everything as women.
On a similar vein, but moving on from that, because we talk about that stuff too much, the movie news this week, as in I'm talking an hour before we started recording.
This is the movie news.
Is that Superman just got a teaser for a teaser.
Yes, they have a new Superman, don't they?
So they've got a teaser trailer on Thursday and they've teased out with a post with a moving image. I don't know if I'm that bothered personally. I don't know if anyone else is.
I think James Gunn makes good movies, let's face it.
He makes fun movies.
So
I really liked the Superman from the current series, which I know they're not going to use.
No.
I don't watch this. I've not
because
watched
they killed him off, but he's good.
I think it'll be a good movie. I think it's going to be a whole fresh take. Obviously, Henry Cavill's Superman, it was quite a dark world. I don't think we're going to get that anymore. I think
Henry Cavill was so good as Superman.
He really was.
Even if the films were bad, he is
what
what you picture as Superman.
I think I said the last time I was on Superman v Batman. I've watched it so many, and I hated it the first time I watched it. I literally hated it, and I've watched it so many times since. It's this kind of conundrum where I watch it, I go, there's something I absolutely love about this movie.
Do you know the one thing I hate about it? There's only one thing. Apart from the CGI on the end monster, there's only one thing that annoys me about that film, is they go through all of that, when in reality, if they just had a conversation at the beginning,
yeah,
it would have been like, oh, do you know what actually makes sense? This guy Zod was like coming through here and that. Instead, they just go full at it for no reason.
I know, but that's... Are you talking the Superman movie or the Superman Batman?
And then he says Martha. But the saying that I was a massive fan of Justice League.
But if we go to James Gunn, right?
The second version was amazing. See the Snyder cut? That was some
Yeah, how
movie.
good was Not Doomsday. Who was the what's the guy called with the horns?
Yeah. It was so much better.
What's he called? The horn guy who nicks the.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's gonna annoy me.
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah, he looks so grisly, didn't he? In the other one,
It just looks like the
and
voice
it
and
had
everything.
Dark Side in it.
And the scene where the Flash reversed his time. And the second one, it's like, who the fuck cut that out? Like, that was the best part of the movie. Like,
That's also one of the best double movies because they are two different movies.
Two completely different movies, yeah. It's funny, but I don't know why I know Snyder's daughter committed suicide.
Killed herself, yeah. So he was like, And then the story is they wanted it to be a bit more. They were competing with Marvel big time and losing, so they wanted to add the lightheartedness, like Mate Boy sitting on the lasso of truth. The Flash character was kind of goofy.
Yeah, the only bit that I liked in the original, or the Joss Whedon version, was when he went to visit his dad in prison and he drew the guy's face.
Yeah, that is quite funny.
That wasn't in the Snyder cut, and I liked that.
He didn't do enough of that though. He should have kept with the comic-y gimmick, shouldn't he? Because that was a very funny thing.
And again, the Flash movie, they trashed it. I thought it was a fucking great movie. Do you know what I mean?
But with Michael Keaton and stuff on there.
I enjoyed. Yeah, the new Flash movie was
like
not
Back to the Future.
not bad at all.
I mean, they really got everyone in there, didn't they? Apart from Lego Batman, and they got a lot in there.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Even Adam West was in there, wasn't he?
Clooney turned up in that one.
Yeah, properly. And I don't
Did he have the nips?
that the CGI wasn't that great. I don't
Did he have the bat nips?
relevant.
No, he came out as Bruce Wayne. He's like, who the fuck is this guy?
I missed the bat nips.
But if the CGI was really bad during an important scene, that would have been annoying. But it was in
I never noticed
funny
that, like,
whirlwind bullshit. Who cares?
I know. But to get back on track, Kevin, what is your favourite Christmas movie? Or Christmas present, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
God, that's a while ago.
Brought that up about an hour ago.
I don't even know what... I don't know what I got. I'm trying to think.
Kev got a can of Iron Brew one, yeah? He loved
Was that
it.
a weapon? Did you ever get a weapon for your mum and dad?
I did. My mum got me a...
Nunchucks for his third birthday.
A samurai sword, like an expense, like £600 sword.
Was that for his second birthday?
Was it an antique?
I was a teenager. Yeah, it was a proper old school one. It was really nice. Like
had bloodstains on it.
The handle itself was like purely crafted and stuff like that in iron or something.
Do you still have
incredible. What?
Do you still have it?
Yeah, do I?
Go and get it.
You should appraise that. Get that appraisal.
But
how many sheets is it?
I think when I was a kid, I remember. Can you remember not Sabutio, but the little electric football game where you had little bits at the end each side, so you played with someone else, and you could push it forward and backwards, and your little man, and you could spin it. What?
Foosball.
No. It was literally this big.
I know an ice hockey game like that, but not a football one.
It was
I get
electronic.
what you mean.
It made a noise. It was like, eh.
Oh,
and
they
you
hang
could
me
move
along.
each player up and down, and then you twisted it, and they
That
had like a little thing sticking out the legs, so you could kick the ball.
Yeah, that sucked, that game. What?
That was amazing.
What?
That was amazing when you were a kid.
Pretty awesome.
That was like you sunk my battleship.
I
got a Game Boy one year. That was a big move because that was my first dip into video gaming. So I'd say maybe my Game Boy might have been my favourite. That was probably 89 or 90. I got that.
I remember getting a Duck Hunt Nintendo.
The gun. The NES.
And I got a bazooka. The SNES. You got the rocket launcher one.
Yeah, you can't use them on TVs anymore.
That was shit. The rocket launcher thing was crap because you couldn't actually look through it.
Yeah,
it was pretty pathetic. But I remember getting Street Fighter. That was huge. But I was never really into video games that much. I preferred my toys. Do you know what I mean? But
I dabbled games for a little bit, and then that was it. Moved on.
What is that? Is that like the
original Game Boy box? Yeah, look, and it came with like in Japan, which is where this one's from. It came with like things tick with the color you got and stuff.
Did you buy another one?
Well, this one was remade in 2001. It was a remake. I collect retro games. Well, I don't anymore, but I went through a phase about 6 or 7 years ago.
What's your favourite retro game?
My favourite console.
Don't say GoldenEye.
No, it's not. I've got GoldenEye now. They re-released it on the Switch. It's so bad. I mean, you got classics like Mario Bros. And Sonic. I was more of a Sonic guy.
Did you ever like Shinobi?
For me, my two favourite games of all time aren't on consoles. It's Simpsons Arcade and Turtles Arcade.
Turtles Arcade was great.
So I wanted to play them. So what I did is I built my own arcade machine.
Wow.
I bought the wood, I cut it into place.
Really?
I got an old Dell monitor. I programmed a Raspberry Pi, like a little computer thing. So it had like thousands and thousands of games. Put speaker in there, lights, like graphics it all up, wrapped it. I'll send you a picture after.
Yeah, that's cool.
Make a little WhatsApp group with us in it. And I'll send you all the stuff. It's amazing. But I was very fortunate growing up that I think I got a Game Boy. And I remember one year I got a we lived in Germany and they had a children's channel, and they'd read out your birthday cards and say where your present was hidden and stuff.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, your present's hidden in the basement," because we lived in like flats, and everywhere in Germany has basements, like Joseph Fritzl style. And it was a Commodore 64 with like the tape deck and everything.
Right.
You'd have to like rewind the games. It would be like a little stick, just doing that. Bloop, 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 bloop. Then I got like Master System, Mega Drive, Saturn, Dreamcast. I always went down the Sega route, and then Sega stopped, so I nipped over to Xbox, then N64, Xbox 360, GameCube, and then
Is Sega evolved into something else now? No.
they still make games and arcades. They just don't make consoles.
Did it? So
They're a
never.
huge
So
company.
now, how like PlayStation, like what did the SNES? What was the SNES? Was that PlayStation?
Nintendo.
No? Nintendo.
Super Nintendo,
So-
yeah.
so you had the
PlayStation.
Super
The
Nintendo-
PlayStation actually is celebrating. It's just celebrated its 30th anniversary.
So
That'll
PlayStation,
make you feel
Sony.
old.
So what did the
Yeah.
Nintendo evolve into? Nothing.
Nintendo now is the Switch.
A Switch, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. So they've never competed with power anymore. They're very much
Do you,
like
do
playing
you
the
remember
old
when
games.
the PS thing came out? Like basically the Sony's version of the PlayStation, the Switch.
Yeah,
What was that called? What was that called again?
fire. I've actually got the current version of
They
it
came
now.
out in the mid 2000s. It was like a handheld. Do you remember
The
them?
PS Vita.
They were beautiful looking, weren't they? So when they first came
Yeah,
out,
so
it was a
now
beautiful
you've
bit of
got
hardware. Like
the Switch. This is Reeves' Switch. This
Yeah.
is the Switch Lite, the normal one you can take the controllers off.
right,
And Sony have actually got, because we've got a PS5 a couple of months ago. But now the handheld version is this beauty, so you can play all your PS5 games on
well,
it.
Santa's bringing one of them to Christian for Christmas.
Jesus.
He's got the PS6 or whatever it is, PS5, whatever it is.
PS5.
Yeah.
You get this.
He's getting that for Christmas. Santa's bringing it.
What, the Portal?
Yeah,
He's got a PS5 already, has he?
he's got a PS5 already
This is the best thing ever. I play this more than my PS5.
because he plays the Switch all the time, and he got the PS5 for his birthday. So
For me, the
he's asked Santa for a
Switch,
Portal. So
the Switch is good for nostalgia. Like it has all the virtual consoles,
he just
so
does
you can.
like Minecraft and
That's
Mario
what
and
Reef
all that.
plays. Yeah, but for us, you can download virtual consoles. So Mega Drive, NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color,
the classics.
N64, and they have like you basically pay like £12 a year. And they
Yeah.
have a massive library, and you can buy an N64 controller
He's
for
already
it.
got a subscription to that.
Yeah, like I've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on it. Remember that game back in
Yeah.
the day? So I basically use my Switch for all the old
All that
games,
stuff.
and then me and Reef use the Switch.
Where do you find the time to play them?
I very rarely do. I only play games when Reef's around, really, because we
Yeah.
play 2-player on the Lego games.
Do
But
you know what a game I
the
used to love?
Portal's amazing.
The game I used to love in the arcade. Remember Slaughterhouse? And you were
Yes,
you were
that was
Jason,
a Mega Drive game.
You were Jason Voorhees, and you had a machete, and you basically
you were a
just
version,
killed.
yeah, and
You
it was.
just
It was
killed ghouls. It was a great game.
I'm a fan. My favourite type of game is beat 'em ups, where you're walking along a predetermined route and
Streets
you're
of Rage.
fighting. Streets of Rage, yeah, another good example.
Double
You
Dragon.
should get Streets of Rage 5 on the PS5. It costs nothing and it's so much fun.
Double
Dragon.
Remember Road Rage, the
Yeah.
the motorbike
Road
one?
Rash, yeah, where you just whipping people.
Yeah, hit people with chains and stuff.
Golden
like
Axe.
Golden Axe was great. Yeah, I lost
Just-
a lot of 50 pences on that one.
Just great side scrollers and
Golden Axe
beat 'em ups, just the
used to
best.
be. My mic's just fell. You used to be able to pick your characters for Golden Axe, and one of them was like a dwarf.
Dwarf, yeah. And you
Yeah,
had the axe.
you had the big axe.
Well, Simpsons Arcade was also a beat 'em up. It was a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and Marge. Can you guess what Marge? You wouldn't get away with this these days. Can you guess what Marge's weapon was?
A rolling pin.
Nope, Hoover. She hit him with a Hoover.
I seen a guy walk up to, it was a women's march, and this guy, it's obviously one of those Instagram videos or TikTok videos, and he walks up and he's like, "You guys lost?" And the women are like, "No, we're not lost." He's like, "Why?" And he's not in the kitchen.
Yeah, your lad's gonna love
That's
the
a brave
portal.
man.
Is your internet decent at your house?
Yeah.
Good.
It's-
Yeah, he'll love it. And
I don't-
also, you can actually play it without owning a PlayStation now.
All right, okay. Well,
It does, like, cloud streaming.
he's got the subscription for the PlayStation
Yeah,
where he
same.
can tap into all the old things, but he was asking for one of those, so
It's the fucking bollocks.
it was on his Santa list. So
Two things I would say definitely recommend. The Venom case costs like 20 quid, but it's hard shell.
I've not even thought of a case.
2 rubber things to put over the thumbsticks, because if the thumbsticks wear out, you can't ever replace them.
Yeah.
And also a good screen protector. Costs you about 25 quid for that
Yeah.
stuff, hardly anything, but it's worth it.
Good.
Definitely worth it.
I'll look into that right away.
But yeah, we got a Venom case from Game. I think it was like £15, but it's like proper solid.
I didn't even think a case. That's
the
good.
thumbstick things are a couple of quid.
Yeah.
And then a screen protector.
Because they've been replaced a few times on his Switch. I've actually got 2 Switches because his old Switch, Nicholas plays that. So, but he doesn't really. He's only on it. He was taking it when Christian was playing it all the time. Nicholas wanted it all the time.
Yeah,
so
this is my one.
We'll just get Christian a new one and give him
mine's
the
a
old
little
one.
bit different. I've got these like Hori controllers that are like got extra buttons on the back.
Christian's got the Pokemon controllers on one of them. The Charizard. They're really big, but they're great.
Well, next year then the Switch 2's coming out, so that'll be what you'll be buying next year.
It's just, I suppose it's the same when we were kids. It was a Sega, then it was a Nintendo, then it was a fucking...
Well, you're lucky actually that we have kids now, because back in the day, the turnover between a Master System, a Mega Drive, a Saturn was a few years.
Yeah.
Now it's like PS5's been out 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to get a PS6
do you
for
know,
another
what I
couple
can
of years.
say? The good thing about it is... It's pros and cons, right? Obviously, we live in the city. Christian's 10, so he's not allowed to just go out and play. It's different times for when we grew up. It just is. And
I just go out and play Pog and marbles.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't let my son just run about in the city. And to be honest, all his friends are all in the same situation, but they can all play together from their own beds, and they're all in there. And I know it's not ideal. I'd rather him out climbing trees or whatever, but it's a good alternative. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not missing
social,
out.
Isn't it?
He's still being social. He's not missing out. And the chat, when you listen to the chat with his friends, you can hear what they're saying. It's all pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going to love the Portal. It's so good. And I bet you're going to pinch it off him because it is bloody fun.
Do they not all go to like the park every now and again and just have one of the parents supervise them?
We'll meet. They're called play dates now, Kevin. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Like you arrange things. He does a million things with his friends, but it's not like an every day. We used to come in from school and go straight out the door.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anywhere
anymore. Be home before it gets dark or at a time. That
street
was
lights are on back home. That unless she's living like in a state, maybe that happens now. But if you're most people, just again because there's that many fucking people just roaming the streets that are absolutely insane. When we used to walk, you'd say, look, cross the road, look both ways. There's now the roads are that busy. There's not an empty gap on a road. It's just constant traffic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, we live in the city, so it's not. There's no. You just wouldn't like. I don't know what age he'll be when it's like. Right, I'll see, maybe when he's 15 or something, he can go to the pictures with his pals, and I'll be 20. I'll be hiding in
the app. Sketchy people
you can find them at all times.
That's the word, James. There's too many sketchy people. When we grew up, there was the one house. You were like, stay away from that house. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I'm going to throw something out there, and I said this the other day. I don't think there are more sketchy people. The difference is we have more access to view the sketchy people now.
100%.
People say to me, "Oh, there's so much bad stuff in the world." It's like, yeah, it always used to happen, except you didn't have a little thing in your pocket going letting you know every time it happened. You'd have to
But
either
the thing
read a
is, James,
paper, which as a child you didn't do.
I think the major difference now is these people are now friends with each other. They're not lone gunmen.
Yeah, good point.
They're paedophile rings. There's all these fucking horrible. It is ramped up because again, you've got people that are. I mean, when I walked up the street as a kid, you had the alkies, the drunks. It was like 5 old men sitting around one kind of monument in the middle of the street, and that was it. Now it's just
now there seems to be a higher volume of them, doesn't there?
It's junkies. It's everything. There was no junkies when I was a kid.
And also, there's people that watch the UFC that think they can just punch people in the face for no reason.
And again, when you watch these bully videos and all that,
I can't watch that.
It puts me in such a bad mood that
I can't do it.
I don't know.
I've watched Kevin. I've been watching like combat sports since I was like 10. Like I've been watching UFC for over 20 years when it was like not even a thing.
Yeah, when it was kung fu guys fighting kickboxers.
Yeah, when it was like Baz Rutten or like someone like that, or Dom Fry fighting like a sumo wrestler or a judo person, and the amount subsequent you learn of head trauma. When I see kids punch someone, their head hits the floor, I'm like, that is time off their life. Like
100%.
regardless, every hit to the head you get is time off your life. Like there's only so much your brain can take. That's why you see fighters in later years get chinny. Like they get fighters like Chuck Liddell that used to be able to like take shots and shots in his later career. One shot to the chin, he's out. His brain goes, nope, can't take this anymore. Shuts 100%. Off. And it's like I can't watch it. Have you seen each other in the head? It's like I can't watch
these videos. Have you seen the one in the kids in the woods and they take the phone off them? And there's this scumbag just comes out of nowhere and just punches this wee guy and they're like, oh no! See, honestly, I would go to jail for a long time.
They don't realise how easy it is to kill someone. They don't. That's the problem because they see these like not wrestling, because wrestling is everyone knows wrestling is scripted, but when they watch UFC and they think they're the next Conor McGregor or Tyson Fury, it's like
I think bullies now it's different now. Like if there was a bully at school, at least you could go home at 3:00 and you didn't need to deal with that person. Now it's online. It goes from online, and that's how my kid's not getting a mobile phone till he's at least at high school. Although he's on those.
Do you know what's quite funny on that? I was always like, if everyone ever starts like texting Reef dodgy stuff, I'd be like, give me the phone.
Yeah,
it's fucking.
I'll nip that shit in the bud in a minute. Honestly,
just go and embarrass the parents. Just find out.
Kevin, I'll make it simple and I'll tell the parents, see if your child bullies my child, I'm bullying you. And that's it. That's your life. And I will be the worst bully you will ever meet.
Yeah. Did you see the news report of police actually investigating? This is a specific case as well, and you can Google it. Police investigating children on school premises, which is to me is something the teachers should be dealing with, for like calling names. And the specific one I remember was multiple students said a girl or boy, another student smelt like fish. This is primary school, by the way, primary school, so under 12, under 11. They said she smelt like fish, so the police investigated it. Now I'm going to say one thing.
Something fishy about that.
If I got a call from the school or the police being like, "We're going to have to investigate your son, who's like 6 years old," I'll be like, "Why?" "Oh, you said so and so smell like fish." I'll giggle my ass off for the rest of the day. And then I go and buy him a cake.
I mean, there's some things that can. I don't understand. There's a kid. Christian never gets any problems at school, but there's a kid that causes a lot of problems in his kind of year for other kids, and it's like this same usual suspect. And the best it is, his mum and dad are both police, and yet this kid is getting dealt with, and it's like, at what point? I wish he would start something in a sense with Christian, because I'd leave their parents that size. It's the fact that the school try and deal with it in all these roundabout ways, because there's this whole woke society, and you can't suspend people.
If someone's getting bullied, they will move the kid that's being bullied out of the situation rather than move the bully. It's like, so that makes kids not want to say anything.
I'd just make it simple. Suspend them for 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks his mum and dad need to stay in the house with him, or need to arrange. Start giving the parents the problem. rather than
Yeah.
just letting the school do it. And it's like, how many
For
times
me,
does this
there's-
wee guy need to do things before you
For
actually
me,
kick him
rules
out?
don't exist without consequence,
But
which
if
is
there's no,
why I've said multiple times that I've questioned if paedophilia is actually a crime in the UK because of the amount of people that get off with no punishment.
I get nothing.
Hugh Edwards. So
Suspended
is
sentence.
it so is it really a crime if you've done something and don't, like for e-scooters, right? People scooting around the streets all day long. They're like, oh, they're illegal. Well, how many people are actually get for police officers sees
Can't
them doing
catch
it?
them.
It's like, is it actually illegal?
Can't catch them.
No, it's like Hugh Edwards gets let off. It's like, well,
But the
is
problem
having
is,
all that stuff?
there's laws. I had a discussion with my sister about this the other day, and it's like there is laws there, but the problem is there's not people enforcing the laws.
Law doesn't exist
If
unless
you or
there's a
I
consequence.
rob a post office, nobody gets harmed. If we use a plastic gun, we're looking at 18 to 20 years for armed robbery, right? If you can look up the worst horrendous videos of a child, and yet you can get suspended sentences in
To me, a
therapy,
suspended sentence is
it's no punishment
see
at
you
all.
later. A suspended sentence is literally saying you're not allowed to break the law for 12 months, which is
And
a
that's all it is.
normal thing.
See, for me personally, if anything, I don't think there's any worse crime than a crime against a child.
We're all on, by the way, we're all on a suspended sentence. Everyone on the planet.
Of course, there. Yeah.
You're not allowed to break a law for
I
a
know,
certain
but
amount of
for
time.
some people, because I think there's an increase in all this stuff because there's no real consequences. See, if they actually started setting these people on fire in a public square, you probably see the paedophile thing going down a bit. But instead, the reward. There's a guy locally that was caught with so many thousands of images of children being abused on his phone, and they actually relocated the guy because he was going to get murdered for where he was from. So they've spent money relocating this.
ridiculous.
Make that make sense. Tell me
They're
what
like,
world that makes
congratulations, you want
sense.
a new house. Okay.
Have to relocate them, but into a jail.
A whole.
Straight into jail.
Relocate them into a prison, maybe.
Honestly, I don't care if you make that video or if you watch that video. You're the same person to me.
The fact you've searched it
If
or
you
even
watch,
own it, like
if
Hugh
you
Edwards owned
if you,
hundreds or thousands of images.
aye, and at tier 4 or something, it's like the worst videos possible, and that
They're
means
like, "Do you know what?
that
It's
means
actually not
babies.
like-"
That's what
But
that
to
means.
me, that says they can't then prosecute anyone
I'd
for
set them
doing
on
that
fire.
crime.
I'd set them on fire, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
even.
100%.
I'd like the match. I would do it tomorrow. Honestly, just if
I
you need
think they should give them an option. They should say, right, Hugh, you guys have 10 years in prison
or
or
castration.
35 or 1 hour in a room with all the parents and their children and anything goes.
No,
what are you choosing?
I would just chemically castrate all these people because I'm sorry, there's no recovering for that. I like brunettes, you like blondes, and they like kids. It's that simple. And you can't rehabilitate. There's no rehabilitation when you're a nonce. And I would just literally, I just chemically
Why don't we
castrate
do like
them.
an exchange program? For every one migrant that comes over here, we send one pedo over there.
No, because you're just sending the problem to another innocent kid. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah,
honestly,
but if we send them to instead of sending them to Syria, we send them to like the North
Russia.
Pole, where there's polar bears.
do you know what they do in Russia to the paedophiles when they get caught? They tie them to trees and they hack their limbs off.
But do you know what they do in
That's what they
Russia
do in
when you post? Do you know what they do in Russia when you post hurty words on Facebook?
The same.
They don't put you in jail.
Did you see the guy that was there was the guy get done with rape in Russia, and they found him. He had 57 stab wounds, and his ankles cut off, and they ruled his death as a suicide.
The only thing that annoys me about that is it wasn't 58 or 56.
Well, he did cause it.
Yeah, I did cause I.
Can you not remember though
Like
that government
death by cops, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
you
Can
run
you
at a
not-
cop with a gun.
Can you not remember the government guy a couple of years ago in the States, and they'd ruled it as suicide because he was shot twice in the head?
He was a hangman for Bill Clinton. Yeah,
That was it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was shot twice in the head, and they were like suicide.
Aye,
Like,
he had a shotgun blast his chest, and he hung from a tree, and they said he killed himself. It's a shotgun
the
blast
worst
his
one
chest.
is they did a documentary of one where they said someone shot themselves in the chest. They measured their arms, and they were like, "There's absolutely no way."
No
they
chance,
could pull
aye.
that trigger.
Maybe he did like the dip now when you used to pull a tooth out, wrap a string round the door. Anyway,
We'll
this is
find
pretty
some.
morbid chat. If he's want to change it back to Christmas, I'll
Let's mix
welcome
it back to Christmas.
Because I would see talking about that. It genuinely sends me into a really dangerous place in my mind. Like if the wrong person chapped my door, then do you know what I mean? I'm like, what is it?
Have you
I'm
got any
the same.
sugar?
You're constantly like,
Fucking
but are
sugar.
you like me? Like in the secret, you're like,
Batman.
someone try it just so I can see,
I'm Batman. Yeah.
just so I can do it. Yeah.
I'm like,
I do. I think it's a
my,
man thing. I'd like this.
it
Like
is. It's a protective kind
I
of
would never
caveman
want
thing.
harm on my friends or family, but secretly in the back of my head, I'm like, someone hurt someone I love, so that I can go for it.
Kevin, I've witnessed that when we went to the last time you were up, and we went for a few drinks after the Billy Connolly thing.
Yeah,
We remember we were outside your hotel, and there was a group of guys being fucking ignorant to somebody selling roses or something,
yeah. I
and you
think
were
so.
like, "You're an ignorant bat." You said something to the guy. You were like, and I'm like, "Oh, you're looking for that." Say something. There was that kind of sits in your chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can
I only
I can
get
be that
fights from other
sometimes.
people. I don't get if someone has a go at
Ev
me.
is Aggie McGaggy.
I can talk myself out of any fight, but if
It's
someone
other people.
starts
You
with
just
some
choose
innocent
not to.
person,
As it, no, it's a protective thing, and it probably gets you into more trouble than it does gets you praised. You know what I mean? But there is a
yeah,
thing that, like I said, see when I watched when I don't have WhatsApp, by the way, and the reason I don't have WhatsApp is because friends would send me all these videos that are just like people getting done in and things. I can't watch
What's wrong
things
with
like
your
that.
friends?
I know that no, send you dirty things as well, but like things that they put me in a really angry place, and it's really hard for me to shake it off. Like if I see a kid getting beat up by 5 kids in a park,
I can't watch that now.
it just it takes me
I
into
can't see an adult getting beaten up by 5 people. It just sickens me. Do you know what? Actually, have you ever? Here's a documentary for you to watch. Actually, have you ever seen a documentary, "Murdered for Being Different" on BBC?
yeah,
It's
good.
a true story about these two like goth people, and they're just going about their life, loving Harry Potter, doing whatever, and they end up meeting. They go to a shop one afternoon and they meet some people and come and hang out with us, and they're like probably in their maybe early 20s, late teens, early 20s,
You get lured into
and they get basically at a skate park oh my god, watch that. And it's got the worst thing about it is the soundtrack when they play is
it's evil in it.
Running Up That Hill by Placebo.
the cover.
It's just evil. There's evil people, and they're just damaged. And there's no. I mean, see the people that were bullies when I was at school. I mean, some of the people are in jail for murder now. Genuinely, like they were broke. They were damaged goods. Do you know what I mean? And
Well,
it's like
sorry.
You just got ones at the background they come from, because no one has a super happy life at home and leaves the house being like,
See
I want to make someone else be crap.
that's sometimes the thing that makes me kind of stop. Like whenever you watch a film, it's happened a lot these days where you see a film where there's a bad guy doing something bad to someone, and then the film flips and you get to see the home life of the bad
Well, I
guy,
think
and you
Sleepers is a great
realize
example,
they're getting
because two
stuff
of them turn
horrible
to
happen.
murderers, don't they?
And it's not an excuse, but it is a reason.
I think
And
Sleepers,
I know, but
a perfect example.
But do you not think, like, again, if we can back to the fucking paedophiles and all that, a lot of paedophiles have attraction to kids because they themselves were abused, blah, blah, blah. But I always think, if you went through that misery, would you
would
not want
put
to
on
do the
someone
opposite?
else. Yeah.
Why would you want to inflict that?
Well, there's
I
the
mean,
same amount of argument for the opposite, isn't there? You know, if you had a tough childhood, you want to be the best dad ever.
I'm not being funny. My son's 10 and he's writing his Santa letter. He thinks he's elf smooth. I've kept him in this world of complete magic, and I'm trying to keep he's honestly, he's pure sunshine, and I'm trying not to damage that in any way. But then there's a part of me thinking now he's going to be like Buddy the Elf when he's 20 because he's going to be so naive. So
Yeah.
it's like, at what point do you introduce a little bit of darkness? Do you know what I
Do
mean?
you know?
Like,
I think
but why
this
should
is
it? Why should I? You know
It's
what I mean?
Michael.
one thing I
It's
like
not
to think. This is
darkness.
how I
It's
like
just a
to.
bit of real worldness in the next couple of years, maybe, because like they
Or
can.
maybe that just comes anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like,
They're a kid till they're 12, as far as the world's concerned. At age 13, that's when they should be not looking at Father Christmas.
they'll shift their focus, and I understand that. But there is that kind of, you know what I mean? Again, he's getting raised differently because he lives in a city, so he's not really doesn't have that same freedom. And I
But
mean, he's pretty
Well, here's the
sharp.
one for you then. So you think about this. I think you've got two options in life. You've got reasons and excuses. You can either be whatever you want to be and be like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. Like, I do bad because of, and use it as an excuse. Or you can use whatever bad's happened as a reason and be like, the reason why I'm doing really well is because of that.
Yeah, and that's
And
how
then
it
You've
should
got
be.
people that use reasons, people use excuses.
The trials and tribulations of everybody's life, nobody gets a pass. I don't believe anybody
No, I think some
goes
people
smooth
use it as a
sailing.
reason, some people use it as an excuse.
And I think we all,
Like, why
aye,
have you done that? Oh, it's because of that. Oh,
aye,
that's
but,
still a bad thing. Yeah,
that
but
is
it's
an excuse in
because.
it.
but
Or it's like, why have
genuinely,
you done really well? Oh, because of that. Oh,
with
that's a bad thing. Yeah, but I use it as a reason to be
not
better.
not that you'd ever be concerned anyway, Michael, but obviously knowing Christian a little bit, there's something about that boy. That boy is special in a lot of ways in the sense that he is like cool as cucumber, lovely, but I reckon he could diffuse a situation. I think he's mature. I
It's
think
very mature, yeah.
if kids in his school started doing something bad, he would help someone. Like even that day when I met you guys at the play park, and I think the kid was getting like grass thrown at him, and he brushed them off and helped him and helped
Yeah,
them along. And it wasn't like a big thing. It wasn't a show. It was just like we noticed them doing something.
yeah, and he is like that.
But
He is.
that is a big
He's
thing, though,
amazing.
isn't it?
Just a
Like, without.
kind
And
child.
that's a reason person, not an excuse person.
Yeah,
But he's going to grow up to be very sensible,
yeah.
well-rounded.
He's already. I mean, like everybody that he encounters, like you go to a parents' meeting, and every teacher he's had just has this kind of. He's something else. Like he's so polite. He's so considerate. These are the words. I mean, he's thriving at school. He's winning
Yeah.
at everything. Do you know what I mean?
I hear the same things about Reef, and I think it's down to parents because there's a lot of parents that think will go to a parents' evening and they'll hear, oh, so and so is struggling with this, and they'll be like, oh, well, it's because of this, it's because of this, because of this. Whereas a real parent, if someone it's like if Reef was like he was struggling, I'd be like, okay, well, let's make that a reason to be
Let's
better.
figure it
Like,
out.
let's
Yeah.
work on that. Let's do on it. Because people that use an excuse, they're never going to better themselves.
No,
They're
and
going
I
to be like,
think,
oh, I'm always blaming this, blaming that.
and I
It's
think
like,
that's for me and
no,
my
use it
wife.
as a reason. Oh, like this happened, so
Me,
okay,
me and
let's
Nicola
bounce back.
have a great balance where Nicola's always done the homework stuff with Christian, and she's always, and I kind of do. I don't know. Maybe I give him a sense of humour. I don't know, but there's a good mix there. I don't think he ever feels that he has to fight for either one of our attentions. Do you know what I mean?
I
Or he's
feel
never
he'd
felt that
be
way.
in a film. He'd be the good boss. He'd be like I can see him being a boss, looking after people,
Yeah.
Reef would be the
and
villain,
yeah, he'd be the evil one.
100%. He'd be the
But
criminal mastermind,
but
Lex
Christian's
Luthor.
not. I don't know what it is that.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just something about Christian that he's not. He's not just a nice kid, and that's it. Like, there's loads of nice kids out there,
Yeah.
but I feel like he's the head of his social group
But
without being the head of the
the
social
head,
group.
and that's exactly that. You've hit it in the head. And the thing is, though, see, since Christian, even when he was like 6 or fat, he could always hold a conversation with an adult. Now, there's kids
Yeah.
that I meet Christian's age the now, and we say, "Hi, how you doing?" We want. They don't even know how to speak. They're like, where Christian would be like,
Socially awkward, yeah.
"Oh, Christian's like he's." You think he was doing job interviews? You know what I mean? Christian would be like, "Oh, and what do you do?" And like, he's so mature and
How old is he again?
he's 10, and he's always been so mature in his conversation. He's got this confidence. Honestly, he walks on clouds.
Here's
And
a
everything.
question for you, actually. This is a bit of a me and my guy I work with both use the same not technique, but those just naturally did the same thing with our kids. And Reef was it was a bit late to walking, but verbally, when he was like 18 months old, he could count to 10, he could point to 1 to 10, he could tell you what every car manufacturer people drove. But that's because from when he was born, I spoke to him exactly how I'm speaking to you.
Yeah,
I never did the.
no
Did
baby
you? I'm
chat.
guessing you did the same.
No, we've always kind of. I think the thing, he's very very clever, right? And Nicholas is crazy clever. Like Nicholas knows every country in the world. He can
Wow.
identify every flag, and he'll tell you what country it's from. He's
Well, that's what Reef was like. He walked
he's
past a
like
Mercedes
he's
at the
like
age
a
of 4 and be
sponge.
like, "That's not the proper wheels."
But with Christian, I think the thing that gave them both this kind of, and it's down to my wife. Nicola read to them every night.
Yeah.
And
But did you talk to them like they're normal people or they're babies?
I do know, probably from a very early age. Like I'm a terrible. I never used to be, but see, the past few years, I swear a lot, and I don't try and cover it up.
Yeah, but did you talk to them
But-
like you didn't go the whole goo goo gaga goo goo thing?
I
You
don't
were
think so. No,
like we sat with Reef watching Basketball when he was like 2 weeks old, being like, "What are you watching?"
I'd probably change the decibels of my voice. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think I
Yeah,
ever.
but you talk to them like a normal person. Didn't you?
Yeah, there was
I
probably.
think that really, really resonates because everyone I've spoke to, as kids, like do that. Of just like I speak to Reef like when he was a baby, like, "What are you doing today?" Fair enough. He'd just
Yeah.
be laying there.
And I think talking a lot, and again, even if it's even when we're trying to teach them to talk, just reiterating things in sentences rather than single words. Like again, like you hear parents if they're giving their kid ice cream, they'll go, "You want cream, cream?" Like cream,
Yeah,
cream, and
no, not doing that
I would
shit.
be like ice cream. You're right. I think I would probably. I don't think I cut corners when it came to the
I might draw a
vocabulary.
Magnum.
And again,
But yeah, white.
with Krishna, I always try and like if I with his vocabulary, if it's a word he doesn't know, he's going to know the meaning of that word rather than just, or he's going to know every abbreviation of that word. You know what I mean? So, but he's really clever anyway. And to be honest, both our kids they're smarter than the both of us now, and I think most of it they've just took it on themselves, like how they've taught themselves as well. Although we teach as best we can, they've surpassed. I mean, Christian's speaking 2 languages fluently now. You know what I mean? Obviously, he goes to a Gaelic school, so, and by the time he leaves high school, he'll probably
Garlic or Gaelic?
Gaelic.
Gaelic.
Gaelic. Gaelic is Irish. Gaelic is Scottish.
I didn't know that was a thing, garlic. Didn't actually know that.
Yeah,
Every
garlic.
day's a school day.
Garlic that they are.
And by the time he leaves high school, he'll be fluent in 3 languages. So
Wow, that's impressive. But they say that being able to learn another language is like one of the highest forms of.
yeah, but if you get them at an early age, it's the sponges. Do you know what I mean? They take everything in. And
That's
again,
because I live on the border of Wales, loads of people I meet,
If you can
all their
barely speak
children
one language, let alone like 2.
They all speak Welsh and English as well.
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And
The adults
it's like,
can't, but the kids
I mean,
can.
I've picked up a tiny wee bit. Nicholas graded it because again, Nicholas did the course to learn it because we agreed very early on. Nicola was going to do the homework with the kids. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I take them to all their kind of activities and things like that. So
Yeah.
we each have our position and it works. Yeah. It's working out so
Go
far.
To your
so
strengths, eh? Take them to the movies.
Yeah. But again, Nicola took him to see a couple of pantomimes because Nicholas, he'll not sit in one of the things now. He's too young. He's just, after 5 minutes, he just wants to walk out. So if it's something like a pantomime, Nicola took Christian to that with his cousins. So it swings and roundabouts. So as everything's kind of, you do it 1 week, I'll do it the next week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I took him to
the right
Wicked.
way to do it.
He went to see Wicked last night.
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So, and it was great. I know you don't like musicals, but it was really good.
Drew wants to go and see it. What right, so let's end on this. What is the kids' favourite Christmas movies?
For Reef, his favourites are the animated Grinch, which for me is one of my favourite Christmas movies.
Christian loves that too.
Elf.
Forgot about Elf till it was mentioned earlier. That has got to be one of the best. That's got to be in the.
They're the two, but I'm gonna introduce it because Reef's always been happy to sit and watch through an entire movie since he was like a baby. He'll watch an entire movie. So we're gonna watch Jingle All the Way and Home Alone this year, which I'm pretty sure he's never seen either of them.
Well,
he'll laugh his arse off to Home Alone though, because when people get hurt, he just giggles his arse off.
As soon as December starts, every night we watch a Christmas movie, or some nights. So we try and catch 24 to 30 Christmas movies through the period, couple on a Saturday, whatever. So
that's insane.
And we save the really good ones closer to the last week of Christmas.
All right, so what's a bad one? What did you watch on December the 1st?
Well, we always watch Elf when we put the tree up.
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street. That's
Miracle on 34th Street.
Kind of good, but a bit sad.
It's good movie.
So what have you got saved for Christmas Day?
we all usually watch It's a Wonderful
Volume
Life
3.
on Christmas Day.
What, even the kids?
Well, Christian, he appreciates it because it's actually really funny. It's a Wonderful Life, even though
Yeah, it's good.
even though
Better
it's
than I
black and
thought.
white. For me, it's the best Christmas movie of all time. But I can't even think. I mean, we've watched Home Alone. We watched that Big Red one last night, or Big Red, what's it called?
About Bad
Red one.
Santa.
Big Red, yeah.
I love Surviving Christmas. Have you ever seen that? Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini.
Do you know what I watched the other day?
What's it called, sorry, again?
Surviving Christmas.
So don't
James
reckon.
Gandolfini, Catherine O'Hara, Ben Affleck. It's a great Christmas movie.
Have you seen the horror Grinch film called The Mean One?
The mean one? No.
It's terrible, but it's worth a watch because it's funny bad.
I'll tell you another one you would love with Dennis Leary and Kevin Spade. Hostile Hostages.
Is Kevin Spade related to David Spade?
No, Kevin Spacey.
Oh, Spacey.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's actually called. It might be called The Ref. Now, one of the things where they changed the name.
Dennis Leary. Yeah, it's called The Ref, yeah.
Yeah, well, when it first came out, it was called Hostile Hostages.
Well,
Christmas movie.
I searched for that. It's under Hostile Hostages, and it says The Ref.
It is so good. Such a good movie.
A cat burglar is forced to take a bickering, dysfunctional family hostage on Christmas Eve.
Kevin, you would love this movie.
Oh, we're missing a classic Christmas film, by the way. What was on with Kurt Russell?
I've 100% seen
Yeah,
it.
the Santa Chronicles.
Were they Christmas Chronicles?
Christmas Chronicles.
That's amazing.
Great movies, yeah.
And what's the one where Santa's son is like in charge? The animated one.
Oh, the British one.
Arthur Christmas.
Another good
That's
one
amazing.
is Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. Great movie.
Yeah, there's loads we forgot about.
Bad Santa. Bad Santa 2.
Are you going to watch the
if we're going old school,
Gromit Christmas special?
What's that short actor called?
Wallace and Gromit Christmas special.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage?
No, not literal dwarf. I just mean slightly shorter than average.
Tom Cruise?
That height-ish. Old school Christmas movie. And it's about him. Russell Brand did a remake.
Arthur. Arthur.
Oh, is that what you're on
Dudley
about?
Moore. Dudley Moore.
That's not
Santa Claus the movie.
Is that
Arthur Christmas?
Santa Claus movie with John Lithgow. John Lithgow's the bad guy. You've got
Arthur is not a Christmas
Meredith.
movie. Arthur Christmas is.
Santa Claus the movie is the best Santa movie. Dudley Moore.
That's
that
Moore.
one,
that's what I'm thinking.
With Kurt Russell is really good.
Yeah, that was good. But the Santa Claus the movie is epic. And
not Arthur, but that
Miracle on 34th Street with the guy that did Jurassic Park is brilliant.
The original's great as well. Me black and white number. Gremlins.
Yeah, just Santa Claus the movie. Just simple. I've never thought of the name of it.
But see, it shows you how Santa became Santa. Like the last, John Lithgow's the bad guy in that, and nobody knew who John Lithgow was at this point.
Also,
and he was a great
Santa with what's he called?
Billy Bob Thornton.
And it's also in that film. It's also got Burgess Meredith.
Meredith, he's basically God.
Yeah, he's like an ancient elf.
And do you know, if
Rocky,
if you watch that scene, it's a beautiful scene. Like Burgess Meredith is saying, "You're now going to deliver all the toys to all the children in all the world." Honestly, if you've got a heart of stone, you'll not like it. But if you've got a lot of heart, you'll be teary eyed.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful scene.
I like to remember
that. Bad Santa 2 was better than Bad Santa.
Don't think I've seen that.
I've thought of a great Christmas movie, by the way. Bad Mum's Christmas. It's so good.
That was good. That was good.
So funny. Have you seen that?
In fact, we're forgetting about the best Christmas movie in the past 20 years. Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, I do like Daddy's Home.
That's borderline Christmas.
The second one is the best one.
The Bad Mums movies 1 and 2 are so funny.
But Mel Gibson coming into that
was great.
Yeah, I love Mel Gibson.
He looks like he's made out of stone.
Yeah, that.
I want to be his friend so bad.
The thermostat is so real life, isn't it?
We've watched that as well, and I love my favourite scene in that entire film is when the wee boy kisses the girl at the end, and it's his sister.
Never dance off.
And it's his stepsister. Sorry. Because he goes all through the movie, you think he's in love with the wee kind of neighbour, and then the Mel Gibson says to him, "Go and kiss her."
But
This,
that
this is your
thermostat
moment.
scene is the most true to life scene in any film ever.
It's roasting in here.
Who moved it 2 degrees? Or whatever he says.
It's when he wakes up and the sweat's dripping off him. I honestly love Daddy's Home 2. I think it's on par with like Christmas Vacation. It's a good movie from start to finish.
Bad Mums cracks me up when, like, that first one where they're at the dinner table and one of the girls leaves, her husband shows up, she leaves all the money, and the woman's like, "We're gonna get fucked up."
You've got the mad stripper guy from what's This Is Us.
Yeah, don't lie, it makes me feel bad.
No, it's a good movie. But Daddy's Home 2, I hope they do a third one and it's like a vacation film rather than
The first one,
Yeah.
when he's doing like the Tony Hawk skateboarding in like, the backyard.
electrocutes himself.
Just
I like the
preposterous
first one,
film,
but
innit?
I think the second one's a far superior movie. Because
Mel
again,
Gibson's brilliant in it.
John Lithgow and Mel Gibson just bring...
Just throwing it out there, a film I watched with Mel Gibson the other day that I haven't watched for a while, Ransom.
Great
Brilliant.
movie.
Great
film.
movie.
It felt really original, that movie, didn't it? At the
Yeah,
time,
when that
like
kid was like wetting himself when he was signing that check, it was so good, and it felt, it wasn't like acting. It was like, the looks and everything was
it was like
such a good
like a fly in the wall. And see the guy that was the bad guy. He was the cop.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name again? He was in the TV cop show for years. Now that CSI.
He wasn't in much, was he?
He was in a couple of good
Gary
films.
Sinise.
Gary Sinise. He's a great actor too, but he's good in that. He's really good in that.
Yeah, Rennie Russo's in that. I love her. I don't know why she disappeared.
Rennie Russo again. She's been the common denominator tonight.
Rennie Russo was great in
And she's an Outbreak.
Thomas Crown Affair.
Yes.
That was
She
a
was
great.
really good.
That
She
was a
just
great
disappeared,
remake.
didn't she?
Get
She was
shortly.
like, I'm specifically making movies in the mid-90s and never do anything
with
again.
Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon 3 and 4.
I forgot she's in The Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood and
God.
Lethal Weapon 3.
That's one of and 4. That's one of Clint's
And Major
best.
League.
Major League.
Major League. Now that
Was she in Major League?
classic film. Yeah.
Wild Thing. Remember Charlie Sheen? Charlie Sheen was a cool cat in that one.
Yeah.
So,
that was so
just
good.
to be clear, what film am I
Wesley
going to watch when we
Snipes.
get off this? What films we talked about?
Major League.
I think I'm going to watch.
Why don't you watch Red One on Prime?
I watched that last night. I think I'm going to
I wanna
watch
watch
Bad
an old
Santa.
film. I want to watch an old film.
I want to watch the Bad Santas next.
Might watch Ransom.
I think you just watched Ransom.
Gonna watch it again.
Right. We'll leave it.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't pay the ransom.
He pees the ransom.
Instead, I'm going to offer as a reward. That was a great bit, wasn't it? See, he was.
A massive Toblerone. Yeah.
That was a good bit. That was like
a great scene.
I seen all these films in the cinema, and you just see when you watch films like that in the cinema, it really is an experience.
Also, would it be funny if they just killed the kid when he said that?
Yeah.
That's why
it wouldn't be much of a movie, but see, do you not think there was when you watched it Ransom the first time? Do you not think there was always that potential that they were just going to kill him? There was always that. There was always that threat because you had all. I mean, Levi Schreiber was one of the guys in it as well.
Yeah,
I gave him a Mars bar.
But that was in the era where bad guys started to win an occasional film because before the 90s,
I think
no bad guy ever won a film.
And when he
went on, always a good ending.
When he went on the news and says, "You're not getting the reward. Instead, I'm going to make it a reward for," and his wife is screaming at him, "What have you done? What have you done?" Like, there's just something about that movie.
Like, you've done bloody Mel Gibson multiple times.
Was that a Ron Howard movie?
Oh God,
Ron Howard movie.
Was it Ron Howard? I think it was.
Ron Howard's MMA, amazing. It was.
Yeah. Ron Howard. Far and Away was Ron Howard. I know you stuffed at it, but Far and Away is a great movie.
Far and Away was the first film I saw him in. I had it on VHS.
Tom Cruise?
Yep.
Great movie.
With the horse riding, with the noise.
What a score.
Far and away.
Enya.
Far and away.
Right, we'll end this, otherwise we'll never end. We'll Enya this now.
Never-ending story. That's a Christmas movie, technically. That was one of those ones that was always on at Christmas time.
Atreyu.
And
the horse
was
called Atreyu.
Before James goes on a rant about a horse.
What was the horse's name?
Atreyu.
Atreyu.
Was it not like Asterix or something? No.
No, Atreyu.
What was the fucking flying dog's name?
Dick nuts. I don't know.
Dick Nuts. D's Nuts. His name was D's Nuts. Do you know the best bit in that movie is when, remember the bullies? He chased them down like fucking Fifth Avenue on the flying dog.
No, I don't remember that film.
Yeah, right at the end, it was like you realised the book was all kind of real, and I don't know. Do you know there's something I used to love about that film? But when
Atreyu's the kid called Noah.
What was the horse called then?
it's like Asterix or something. Or Google it, please.
Arbitrix?
No, it's like a
It
Greek
doesn't
name.
matter. No one cares.
I care.
We care, Kev.
Well,
Go
Google it. You've
Just
both
say
got
the
fucking
horse.
devices.
The horse from Neverending
Right.
Story.
Chat amongst yourself. The second I find the
Lego
name
nuts.
of this horse, I'm pressing stop.
It's Aztecs or tack. Fucking tell me, Kevin.
Tixotac. Blue tack.
Artax.
Artax, I knew it. Artax.
No,
Artax.
Merry fucking Christmas. Piss off, both
Right.
of you.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, and have a happy New Year.
Animal.
Ending. Done.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.